Did you know that it takes people only a couple of seconds to make a full judgment about who you are? What that means is that you'll never be able to make a first impression again. Hey beautiful, welcome back to my channel. Tamia Dawkins here, and if you've never seen my face before, I would love to invite you to go ahead and subscribe. On my channel, you will find all things connected to intentional lady living in the areas of entrepreneurship, health, and life coaching. And so I'm super excited to have you join me again. In today's video, we're going to discuss the importance of you making sure that your appearance is on point. Whether you find yourself being a single lady, a wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, boss, you want to make sure that you have your appearance in tip-top shape, and I'm going to be able to make sure that you're doing just that. Stay tuned. According to an article on the Association of Psychological Science, it literally takes people a blink of an eye to be able to have a first impression about who you are in your fullness. Now, I don't know if that means a lot to you, but I believe that it should, especially if you are one that understands that you are living your life to fulfill different purposes in life. So whether you find yourself running to the grocery store, to the doctor, or even to Walmart, or a business meeting, or to school, it's super important that you make sure that you have yourself looking the best of the best. Now, I know sometimes this can be super hard because of the way that our culture has taught a lot of us to be very lax and laid back. But it is important for you to make sure that you're taking responsibility to make sure that you are doing what you need to do for you in your lane, so that you don't miss out on the best opportunities that can inevitably connect you to your purposes in life. Now, I can remember growing up as a little girl in New York City and my mom making a big deal about what it was that I wore when I went outside. And so sometimes I followed those rules and sometimes I didn't. But the more that my mind began to mature and grow, it was then that I began to look out of the lenses of my own mom to understand the importance of why I needed to have my stuff in order when it came to what it was that I looked like in my appearance. The more that I realized that my opportunities were connected to my appearance, the more that I felt a responsibility to make sure that I looked my best. Recently, I was listening to an audiobook of an amazing lady, and she talked about the process that she had gone through when it came to looking her absolute best. And she said that it was because of the insecurities that she felt as an individual, as a woman, that kept her from making sure that she looked her best. She talked about how she would become intimidated in the presence of others that looked the way that she really desired to look, but because of the fact that she did not have the know-how to look the way that she wanted to look, she chucked it up to literally becoming an insider and a hater, to literally becoming very insecure when she was around women that represented who she wanted to be. Now, I think it's a very human thing for us automatically to feel feelings of envy and jealousy, especially as women, when we come in contact with other women in particular that have what it is that we crave and we desire. And in my recent course that I created called The Intentional Lady, that teaches you how to live an intentional life that you'll absolutely love, I talk about the importance of you making sure that you do a heart check so that you don't find yourself being jealous or envious of someone that you really should be taking the time to admire and learn from. There has been times in my own life where I have envied women that had certain things that I thought that I should have within my life. But see, the issue with me internally when I've experienced those feelings in the past was that I didn't realize at the time that I could have exactly what it is that they could have if I put in the same amount of work. So inevitably, it was really like, how dare I feel a sense or a feeling of jealousy against someone that was willing to put in work that I had not even tried to put in work with. And so if you want to look like Beyonce, make sure that you're putting in Beyonce's time in terms of her being able to literally have a team of people that help her to be able to look exactly the way that she looks. Now, one thing that I absolutely admire about Beyonce, though I'm not connected to her music or her life in detail, is her work ethic and the importance that as a lady, she cares about how people see She cares about how people see her in terms of how she can consistently make sure that she shows up and produces what it is that her audience is oftentimes looking for. She, in other words, has learned the art of what it means to serve her audience by making sure that she takes care of herself as a lady. And that is absolutely admirable. I can tell you that as a pastor's wife, for the past 12 years of my life, that I've had to learn that me being an example to other ladies was definitely something that was important. My purpose is to influence them as much as I can in that position to glorify God. But at the same time, just as a lady in general, it's super important for me to make sure that I present myself at my best so that they're not embarrassed about who their pastor's wife is, and then at the same time so that I don't embarrass myself, because your appearance does absolutely matter. Now, there are a couple of quick tips, because I'm not gonna leave you hanging if this is something that you absolutely struggle with, but I'm gonna make sure that I supply you with some solutions so that you can work towards making sure that you absolutely look your best at all times that you step out. This is absolutely possible. And the first way that you can do that is by making sure that you plan out what needs to be planned out so that you can be your best every single time you step outside of your door. You really want to start off by first defining what looking your best means for you. Find somebody that you feel comfortable with enough to be able to help you to walk through this process. One of the greatest things that I see in ladies is that they look a mess because of the fact that they are so prideful to the point where they cannot ask other people for their help. It is okay to ask for help. But if you're a bit on the shy side and you're not finding yourself to be prideful and you just don't know how to ask for that help, we have the good old internet. So what I want you to do is begin to do an internet search so that you can begin to study the ladies that you absolutely admire. Now, depending upon the audience size of the ladies that you admire, in some cases you might be able to send them a DM to get some particular tips if you're really open to something like that. Or either you can literally, each day that you plan out your week, go to their social media and kind of see some of the different styles that they're choosing for themselves. Now, if you're really serious about making sure that you look your best, you could even hire a stylist to help you to be able to plan out what your looks are gonna look like from week to week. The key here is to make sure that you plan. Now, me being a wife, a mom, it is super important that I oftentimes know exactly what it is that I want to look like ahead of time. So for me, I've been doing this thing for so long that for me, most oftentimes I have a visual in my head of what I want to look like in that particular day. So for example, it kind of goes like this. Monday through Friday, since I'm home with my toddler most oftentimes and I work from home, I'll make sure that I get up and I wash my face and I put a little bit of foundation and maybe some mascara or some eyelashes on, and then I'll go ahead and style my hair the way I want it on that particular day. Then following that, in the morning if I'm working out, I'll have a workout outfit on, and then I'll go ahead and change to whatever else I want to wear for that particular day. And so you might be asking, well, if you're home most of the time, then why do you do that? I do that because of the fact that my appearance matters to me first, and that's how you win. You win when you realize that your appearance has to matter to you first, because inevitably, let's say you run across a person that doesn't admire your style or your appearance or the way that you look. Their opinion in the end won't matter, because you know that you've done your best to be your best for you first. Now, because of the fact that I'm also a creative visually, I'm able to put different pieces that I have in my closet together. Sometimes I'll try out different things and then go ahead and try something else that I may like a bit more than the thing that I tried before. And then when I get the exact outfit that I want, then that's what it is that I go ahead and rock for that event, or just within the house for that day, or if I'm going out to church or whatever have you. What you need to realize is that it is practice that makes absolute perfect, and perfect for whatever your style is that you want to be able to represent concerning who you are each and every day. And so usually around the times of about 4:45 to about 5:30 is the hours that I'll go ahead and get up for the day so that I can have time to be able to get Tamia together. That time absolutely means the world to me. So if I want to spend an hour messing with my ponytail or try out different mascaras or eyeshadows, then that's the time for me to be able to do that while I'm listening to something empowering at the same time, like an audiobook or music. This is another reason why it's important for you to make sure that you look up to par and feel your best in terms of what you put on from a day-to-day basis, because you may not always feel good inside, but I can bet you that if you look good on the outside, that the inside emotions that you might be going through will absolutely catch up. Now, another tip that I have for you is that you make sure that you schedule different times of self-care that will literally help you with your appearance. So for instance, if you are the type of girl that likes to go get your nails done and your eyebrows waxed or threaded, it would be a great idea for you to go ahead and put your self-care times of those different self-care times that you can make sure that you get into the habit of doing that particular self-care act every single week or every 2 weeks. So for instance, for me, most oftentimes, because I wear acrylic tips, I'll go to the nail salon every 2 weeks. So I'm on a schedule consistently to be able to do that. So you can go as far as calling the nail salon to book your appointment, or the time that you do go to the nail salon, you can make sure that you book your next scheduled self-care appointment that particular time. I know for me, anytime I self-care by making sure that I get my eyebrows threaded or waxed, by the time I get out the chair, I feel like $1,000,000. My face just literally feels more refreshed, and I feel like, I can go ahead and own this day. Now, if you're struggling with trying to make sure that you put these self-care acts within your schedule, I'll make sure that I attach my time blocking schedule to this video so that you can learn how to block off time in your schedule and create the opportunities. Now, another tip that I have for you is that if you are not too sure what exactly to wear, there are thousands, I believe, of different subscription box companies that you can order different outfits on and try them on each time that you get a box to figure out what it is that fits you well. Now, with many subscription boxes, you can try on and be able to keep what you like in the monthly subscription box and then go ahead and send back the rest. Now, I've went ahead and put 2 particular subscription boxes in the comments down below, so you can feel free to try out those particular boxes to see how you like them. Now, it is important that you do the internal work, because as much as your appearance matters, if you do not have the self-confidence that you need on the inside, then in spite of what you look like on the outside, the world will know how you really feel about yourself on the inside. I want you to make sure that you're doing self-motivation by uplifting yourself, whether you are placing affirmations around your house to remind you of how beautiful you are. Now, according to the Word of God, you've been fearfully and wonderfully made by God. You are not a mistake. You are absolutely perfect in the eyes of the God that has created you. So in spite of whatever processes you must go through in life in terms of your development, it's super important for you to know who you are inside before you can even really get the trick of making sure that you're owning your true, authentic beauty on the outside. And I know you can absolutely do it. I want to go ahead and give you the opportunity to be consistently motivated. You know, that inside work that we talked about by joining my online free club called the Ladies Society. In this club, I offer free resources that can consistently motivate you to live that intentional lady life that you'll absolutely love. I want to invite you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Once again, feel free to share this video with your tribe. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.